Hello and welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a program about the services and functions of Monmouth County government. I'm Cynthia Scott, your host for this segment, and today we are joined by Acting Prosecutor Chris Gormicione. Prosecutor, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for letting me be here. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. The Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office launched the Superstorm Sandy Fraud Task Force back in February. Let's talk about that a little bit and then how it's working.
Sure. Well, as you know, we rolled that out because we saw after catastrophes, natural catastrophes and hurricanes and earthquakes and such around the country, after people begin to rebuild, there's those charlatans and contractors and people with ill intentions that try to take advantage of people in really vulnerable situations. So we rolled out that countywide task force to protect their interest in their rebuilding effort.
And how is it working?
Very well so far. As you know, we have a physical location on the Bayshore. We've opened about 175 cases. Roughly 25 of them are criminal investigations, and we've charged 3 people as a result so far. The remaining cases are mostly consumer and regulatory matters, and I'm proud to say that we've wrapped up about 80 of those 175 just through badge pressure alone, let's put it that way.
Wow. Now, basically, what is it that people have to look out for?
Well, there's a number of scams that will arise in scenarios like this, especially in the rebuilding effort. There's the obvious ones, charity scams, people trying to take advantage of the goodwill that people might want to exercise. But a lot of them are contractor-based in the rebuilding effort. For example, a typical one we see is high-pressure salesmanship by a contracting company. You need to give us a deposit right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do your job a week or 2 from now. Give us this deposit and we'll get there. They give them a $15,000 or $20,000 deposit and the work never gets done. Or if it's done at all, it's shoddy workmanship. That's a typical scam.
If somebody becomes victim to that, do they call the fraud task force then and report it? Or if they feel like they're being scammed even prior to that, let's hope they don't get to that point. Do they call the fraud task force, file paperwork? How does it work?
Well, they do. We have a physical location in the Bayshore at Port Monmouth, but they can also call or email us at the numbers that are published. And the answer to your question is yes. Unfortunately, if they're in a reactive position where they've been harmed or damaged already, then they should call us. But part of the task force mission is not just reactive, but proactive, which is why I'm glad to be on this show, because I want to get this message out to the public, to let them know that there's a host of things that they can pick up, resources at police departments, at our task force office, to let them see what they should be wary of.
You know, the rebuilding from Sandy continues, you know, in lots of places throughout the state and in Monmouth County. How have you seen an increase in the number of phone calls that you receive regarding, you know, I think I've become a victim of a scam, or somebody came to my house, or have you seen it on the decline since the rebuilding is really in full force in some spots? Well,
you know, we've seen a steady flow. I can't tell you that it's declining or increasing. I believe that it's going to increase over time, because if you look at the situation that many homeowners are in right now, I think for the most part, insurance claims with the government and private insurance haven't been settled necessarily just yet. So I think that there's going to be a crest of development that starts to occur in the next few months as people settle those claims. And we're standing at the watch, ready to help them if they feel like they've been taken advantage of.
And unfortunately, there are those out there, like you said before, that, you know, during a disaster, during a crisis, there are people out there who are trying to make a buck off a victim.
Isn't that terrible? I
know.
Yeah,
it's just extremely disconcerting. You know, they're preying upon the most vulnerable in a sense.
Our message is to those contractors, in-state, out-of-state, Monmouth is going to roll the red carpet out for you and welcome you with open arms. But if you have intentions to try to take advantage of our vulnerable citizens, then we're going to find you, we're going to track you down, we're going to investigate you and prosecute you to the fullest extent.
When did you decide that, you know, we really need to create this and this should be a good thing? Did it come as a result of, you know, lots of phone calls to your office saying, you know? No,
actually, I learned a lot of lessons from the southeast crescent of the United States that had been hampered by hurricanes and storms. Katrina, the hurricanes that have hit historically in South Carolina and Florida, a lot of the DA's offices, the prosecutor's offices down there have been through similar actions, so I have to give them credit. But I knew that I wanted to roll this out with federal, state, and local assistance involved since the day after the storm, when I had a chance to go up in the helicopter and look at the damage. I just knew that there was going to be such a mass rebuilding effort that this is what people want from government. they want us to streamline this for them. They don't want to have to call 5 or 10 different federal, state, or local agencies.
Sure. So really, it's that direct step, which is such a great point, that direct step right to the fraud task force, then they're cutting through, getting somebody on the phone saying, "Oh, you know, wrong office. You have to call this place instead." I mean, this really is a direct link.
You can get passed around from state and local agencies, municipal organizations. We're considering ourselves a choke point. We're your one contact. You can call us if the matter needs to be referred somewhere else. We'll take care of that. But the contact that I want to forge with people that are going through this is that they can use us as a source, and we'll shepherd them through until they have resolution.
And how has that response been from the people?
I think for the most part really well received. I mean, inherently there's frustrations and some time it takes with some of these criminal investigations or otherwise that I've referenced. But like I said, most of the time we can resolve these through the collective pressure of different law enforcement agencies. You can imagine what it's like when a contractor gets a visit from a prosecutor or a detective from my office and an IRS agent, an FBI agent, or a sheriff's officer. And they're essentially said, look, we're going to really pay close attention to what you're doing with this particular consumer. 99 times out of 100, they're going to go ahead and either recoup, get the deposit back, or they're going to get the work delivered in the way that they negotiated. Because nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to be a target of an investigation.
Sure. All right. A great effort there, prosecutor.
Thank you.
Good job. Thanks so much for joining us today. For more information, you can go to www.visitmonmouth.com. I'm Cynthia Scott. Have a great day, everyone.